Welcome to Homeschool Nolan, here to help you navigate learning in the digital age. Will our kids be better or worse off than we were? I ask this question because lately, after talking to parents of older kids who are nearing adulthood, I've been hearing more pessimism lately about the economic prospects for their kids. I also saw this headline recently in the Washington Post. Quote, "Young adults suffer from anxiety, depression twice as often as teens. Many of them are grappling with high housing prices, a lack of connection in the workplace, misinformation exacerbated by social media, and a loneliness epidemic." When we see headlines such as this, along with the countless news stories about inflation, layoffs, home prices, interest rates, not to mention war, climate change, and terrorism, it's hard to argue that we are living through turbulent times right now. But are these times really worse than before? To answer this question, it's only natural for older folks to compare these times to when they were young. And for me, that means comparing the world we live in today to the 1990s. Ah yes, the 1990s, when I was a teenager and then became a young adult. And looking back, it does seem that the period from 1989, when the Berlin Wall fell, up until September 11th of 2001, was a special time in history when most of the world was living in peace and prosperity. Communism had collapsed in Russia and Eastern Europe, and brand new democracies seemed to be sprouting up everywhere. The internet became the next big thing, and it spawned a tech boom that created companies like Amazon and Google, along with lots of high-paying tech jobs for everyone. Bill Clinton was president of the US, and he worked with Congress to produce budget surpluses. The biggest scandal of the 1990s was whether he had relations with one of his interns. I remember it was during the 90s when we were often compared to the World War II generation, also known as the Greatest Generation. This was the generation that grew up during the Great Depression and then went off to fight in World War II to save the world from fascism. When they returned home, they helped build the strongest and most prosperous country the world had ever seen. So no matter how things tough got for us, we're always mindful of the sacrifices the previous generations had made for us. But now, fast forward to today. I do think today's young people face challenges that earlier generations didn't have to worry about. For one thing, there's social media. We had bullying back in our day, but not to the degree kids sometimes experience today online. The recent COVID-19 pandemic was also highly disruptive to schooling and socialization of our youth. It was a harsh lesson that no matter how good it seems, things can turn on a dime with no warning. Right now, college grads are having a hard time finding work in one of the toughest job markets in recent memory. Now, the job market has always been cyclical, but unlike previous downturns, there's the feeling that this time that artificial intelligence combined with the rise of remote work and globalization will continue to cause many entry-level white-collar jobs to disappear forever. On top of all that, rising interest rates have made buying that first home increasingly out of reach for young adults. Because of all this, some politicians, along with business leaders, have suggested that we will eventually need Universal Basic Income, or UBI, where the government guarantees a set amount of money to everyone. I don't know about you, but I don't dream about my kids growing up to be dependent on UBI. It's nice to have guaranteed income, but there's also a danger, I feel, that it can kill your motivation and your sense of self-worth and purpose in life if the government tells you that you don't have what it takes to make it on your own and you need us to take care of you. Somebody will still need to produce all the goods and services we need. And if we have UBI, who's going to do all the work? Now, it can be very hard to predict the future, but it's our job as parents to do the best we can to prepare our kids for adulthood. And here's some tips I'd like to share that parents can do to help kids prepare for turbulent times. The first is to teach your kids how to deal with adversity. Now, this doesn't mean you intentionally make life difficult for them, but you look for opportunities to teach them that the good things in life don't come easy, and you usually have to work hard to get them. I think playing sports is a great way to teach kids how to deal with adversity. My 10-year-old has been competing on both the swim team and flag football. The thing I love about sports is that it's a great reminder just how competitive the world is, and that there's always someone out there who's better than you. And it takes hard work and perseverance to make it to the top. It's also a great way to teach teamwork and how to handle losing and bouncing back from setbacks. It's also important to teach our kids how to make good decisions. It's tempting for us parents to try to make all the right decisions for our kids. But at the very least, when we make a decision that our kids disagree with, we should try to explain why we made that decision so that they can see both sides of an issue. I know a common decision my overscheduled kids sometimes have to make is choosing between two different events on the calendar, like choosing between attending a birthday party versus attending a sporting event that you are competing in. Kids often will naturally choose the option that seems more fun. But these decisions can be an opportunity to teach them the importance of short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. So, in summary, it's always difficult to tell whether the challenges you're going through today are only temporary or if they're going to be long-lasting. But there's no denying that our kids are growing up in a world with new problems and challenges that many of us parents didn't have to face when we were young. And I hope this video has been helpful if you're a parent preparing your child for an uncertain future. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to click subscribe for more videos like this one. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.